Yo, what's going on, guys? Trey back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be talking about zombies and whether or not I prefer them to be fast or slow, and as well whether or not you guys prefer them to be fast or slow. For slow zombies, give me a thumbs up. For fast zombies, give me a thumbs down. So when it comes to me and my preference of what I prefer, I mean, throughout the different genres, I guess we should start by talking about that first of, of zombie, survival horror, fiction, this kind of stuff. Way back in the good old days with Night of the Living Dead and George A. Romero's films, the Dead series, he had created the slow-moving zombies. Okay, so initially that was the idea, was a slow-moving zombie. So they're really slow. The reflexes aren't great. They're not going to be sprinting at you. They're not going to be doing this kind of stuff. They just move really, really slow, and they're not too strong on their own. One at a time, one-on-one. The big thing about them is that there's so many of them. It's going to be in groups and so contagious. The virus or disease or whatever you want to call it, virus I guess would be the best way to look at it. And then as we got later on, we started to see in the 90s and stuff, filmmakers decided, well, maybe it'd be more scary if we made the zombies faster. So you have movies like 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, and many others too, where you have fast-moving zombies. In 28 Days Later, they call it rage. So they're infected with rage, and then you'll see them just like sprint across. Dawn of the Dead remake is another example of like super fast zombies with just like running everywhere. And I remember the scene where the girl, the wife or whatever, she's in her car and she's heading on her way to the mall or wherever she's going. And I think is it her husband or boyfriend or something, and he's like running after the car. He's like just sprinting down the street, and they zoom out and you see this view of him sprinting down the street. I think that 28 Days Later probably nailed it the best with like the scary sprinting rage zombies, so that you could even argue that they're not really zombies, that they're sort of like crazies. They're not really zombies. It's sort of like there's a comic book called Crossed where it's sort of similar to that idea, where they're not really necessarily zombies, but they just become infuriated with rage. It just drives them crazy and causes them to do these kind of things like bite people. I like the explanation 28 Days Later where you have the monkey and they're making it watch the like all the violence and stuff, and this is how, like, at Cambridge, and this is how they kind of like produced the virus, or kind of gives you a background in their story on how that all came about, which is very cool. One scene that's really cool in 28 Days Later is where you see the sprinting zombies pretty much, is where I believe he's in the church, or right at the beginning of the movie, he walks in the church and stuff, and there's the father there, and he's just all tripping out and stuff on him. And then, they come chasing after him, and he's running as fast as he possibly can. And it makes for really exciting scenes. The thing about it, though, is that it's pretty, I don't want to say unrealistic, because it's all unrealistic, but it's sort of, with fast zombies, the problem is that realistically, people would not have any chance if that was the situation. Because if they were all sprinting at you, you're totally screwed. Like, you have no hope, no matter what you do, of surviving, or barely any. You just have to get as far away from people as you possibly can. And with them moving that fast, and just force at you all the time, and lots of them, even in a car, like enough of them hitting the car would eventually break the window, or maybe go through the glass, or at least shatter it so you can't see when you're driving. Like, there's just no way you could possibly survive, with super fast zombies running all over the place. It can't happen. In those movies, they do a good they do a good job of making them very exciting, but I think for a long-running series, like, for example, The Walking Dead, having super fast zombies like that just wouldn't make sense, because they wouldn't be able to survive at all, like, at all. I mean, there's a point in 28 Days Later where it's at nighttime, and he's at his parents' house or apartment or something, and he turns on, like, a candle light or something like that, and one of the rage-infested zombies comes, like running through the window, and just jumps through the window and attacks him. And so obviously they're more deadly than the slower type zombies, but it's to the point where if that was the situation, there's no way anybody could survive for any amount of time at all, like even a couple days, and that'd be it. You know, you wouldn't be able to, unless you just stay inside and don't make any noise and stuff. But there's no way you could have a show like The Walking Dead that goes long term with super fast running zombies. It just wouldn't work. So that's why, me personally, I prefer slow zombies. In The Walking Dead, they do a good job of mixing it up, where you have like, you know, the zombies aren't super slow. Sometimes they'll move faster than others when they get in groups and they're pushing each other and stuff. I like that kind of idea there, where they'll kind of, you know, like push each other and that kind of stuff, and they'll move faster that way in groups. And they're not the slowest either. They're not like Dawn of the Dead so slow where they're just like, you know, like coming at you, and it's kind of humorous to, you know, to just kick them over or something, or, you know, do something like that to them. They're just barely moving at all. So I think that The Walking Dead has the best mixture. I consider what The Walking Dead has to be slow zombies. I don't consider them, even though they're sort of in the middle, they're not the slowest. I consider those to be the right mix, and I consider them to be slow zombies, because compared to the Dawn of the Dead 28 Days Later, where they're sprinting, I mean, you never see a zombie in The Walking Dead like flat out just, you know, like sprinting like that. It's just a little bit just too much for me. It doesn't work, and long-term survival situations you can't get if that's the reality, if that's the world they're living in. Nobody has any chance. That's it for this video, guys. Later. Peace.